Hey guys, Steven here with STS Pickleball, and today we're going to dive into the new top 5 paddles of 2025. There have been so many new paddle releases, and actually one of the paddles on this list hasn't even been released yet. So I wanted to do an updated hypercurrent top 5 video for 2025 because I know you guys love these videos and I just want to do what's best for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dink straight into it. Okay, so coming in at number 5 for this updated list in 2025, we have the Carbon 4 TruFoam Genesis. So this new hybrid shape is a very welcome addition to the Carbon lineup. They did not utilize the shape in their original X series. They had the 1, 2, and 3. So this new 4 shape is really nice. They balanced off the swing weight on this one very, very well. Some of the swing weights in the original 1, 2, and 3s were a little high, especially the 1 and the 3. But this 4, the hybrid shape, has been really, really nice. It is my top pick for the Carbon TruFoam Genesis series, and it is my top pick for the entire Carbon lineup as a whole. I think this is the best paddle that they've released. Extremely top tier spin. This paddle is utilizing dwell time specifically for spin. You don't get a lot of grit on the face, which does create a bit of a lack of spin at the non-volley zone. So when you're doing little flick rolls, shorter shots, poppier shots, you're not going to get quite as much spin on this as you will with some of the more grittier paddles on this list. But it does have really good dwell time and a really nice feeling off the face. So the Carbon 4 TruFoam Genesis comes in at a price of $280. You can use code STS Pickleball to get 10% off that, save $28, brings it down to $252. So that is going to be, I believe, the second most expensive paddle on this list. But I will say in these top 5 videos, we are not taking price into consideration. We are only taking performance and, objective driven metrics to decide what are the actual best paddles right now at this moment. So Carbon 4 TruFoam Genesis comes in at number 5 for 2025. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into number 4 for this updated list for 2025, and that's going to be the J2FC Plus from Honolulu Pickleball. So this particular paddle is utilizing Gen 3 characteristics around a full foam core, and what you get there is the most plush paddle out of all the paddles on this list. So if you're looking for a top performance paddle that has more of a plush feeling off the face, you don't like rigidity, this will be a great paddle for you. There's no break-in to speak of with this paddle. It does have a bit more power than the Carbon 4 TruFoam Genesis. So if you're looking for a little bit more power, a better price point, extremely top tier spin, Honolulu Pickleball always optimizes their grit levels too. So with Honolulu, you're also going to get more spin on those flick rolls, those little poppy shots at the net, and it's a very, very solid paddle. I think the only reason that the other 3 paddles edge this one out is because they have relative metrics, but just a little bit more power. So if you're looking for something that has more power than the Carbon 4 TruFoam Genesis, very solid power generally speaking, but you want something that's a little bit more plush and has a little bit more controllability, this would be the paddle for you. But if you're looking for a little bit more power coupled with a lot of these top tier metrics, then stick around for the other 3 paddles on this list. Price wise, the J2FC Plus does come in at $195. You can take 10% off that using code STS10. STS10 is my non-Kevlar specific code for Honolulu Pickleball, which brings it down to $175, which again is just a crazy, crazy good price for the amount of performance you get out of this paddle. And all those factors really make this paddle very deserving of the number 4 spot on this list for 2025. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into number 3 right now, currently in 2025. And that's going to be the Gearbox GX2 Power. This paddle comes in at a price of $270. You can actually use code STS Pickleball and take 10% off any of the GX2 paddles on their website, which is something they have not done in the past. So it's nice that they are allowing codes for these, which is really cool. Saves you some money, which is nice. So coming in at $270, you can get 10% off using code STS Pickleball. Brings it down to $243, which honestly is fairly reasonable for the performance here, I will say. Like, I know it's expensive, but this is Gearbox's best paddle. Just period. I mean, it's absolutely their best paddle. Extremely top tier power, elite power. Very, very good spin on drives and serves. Gearbox has not optimized their grit levels, so we're not talking about super gritty, toothy grit on this paddle where you're going to get a lot of spin on dinks and little flick rolls of the net, little poppy shots. You're not going to get as much spin on those shots as, say something from Honolulu or Selkirk paddle that we're about to talk about. But you do get elite power. You get a beautiful feeling off the face. And honestly, it's just I think it comes down to mainly just power and sweet spot, why this one edged out the other two so far. The power on this is elite. The sweet spot is very, very large. It's essentially a Pro Power elongated from back in the day, but with an edge guard, so you get more stability. And it's just a very, very solid performing paddle. Very deserving of the number 3 spot on this list for 2025. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into big number 2 on this updated list for 2025. And that's going to be the new Selkirk BOOMSTIK paddles. So as far as pricing goes on the BOOMSTIK, we're talking about $333. So definitely the most expensive paddle on this list. You can use code INF-STS Pickleball, and that'll give you the maximum allotted gift card back with your purchase. That's how Selkirk has always done their coupon codes. You get a gift card back on your purchase. Basically, you get store credit that you can use on future purchases. So that is the best code available in the space right now. INF-STS Pickleball will help out on that a little bit, but you know, I think that it becomes a little bit more digestible when you take into consideration their return policy, their warranty policy, the fact that they will send you a new paddle before you even have to send your broken paddle back if something does happen to this is really nice. So there's some brand awareness and some brand trust that comes into play with Selkirk specifically. Their customer service is definitely top tier. You know, Selkirk finally nailed something on trend, on curve. And it's really cool to see because they have a ton of resources at their disposal, and how they were able to pack this much power into a paddle and keep it legal is pretty crazy to me. But these are badass paddles. Very, very, very solid. Super solid grit levels. I can't share the tech in this paddle yet. They do have it on lockdown right now, so I can't share anything about them quite yet. But I can give sort of general characteristics about them and why they're number 2 right now for 2025. The power on these is elite. The spin is very, very solid. It's right up there about elite as well. The pop is solid. The sweet spot on these is great. I would say one of the only downsides on these is that the sound off of these is very loud. You know, BOOMSTIK I think stands for power, but it also is a very loud paddle in play. So if you're in a community or you're in a neighborhood where you have to kind of work with more of a sound dampened paddle, or you don't want something overly loud, I would probably sadly say that you would need to skip this paddle. But if sound isn't an issue for you, then these paddles are extremely deserving of the number 2 spot right now in 2025. So relative power to the GX2 power, so elite level power, extremely large sweet spot. It's not news to anybody that they're utilizing Infinigrit on this paddle, so I think that that's okay to share. But yeah, you get an edge guard, you get optimized twist weight and swing weight performances here. You get elite power, you get super top tier spin, you get really good pop, and you get a massive sweet spot. So this is Selkirk's best paddle for sure. For sure. Like, this is a great, great, great paddle. I will say it was close to a toss-up and for number 2 and number 3 between the Gearbox GX2 Power and this Selkirk BOOMSTIK paddle. But for me, the grit levels on this just outpace the GX2 Power. And I really love grit so that I can get a little bit more spin on my dinks and my drops and a little bit more spin on some of the flick rolls at the net. So this one just edges out the GX2 Power just a bit, but definitely deserving of the number 2 spot on this list for 2025. But yeah, as far as value goes, it is the most expensive paddle on this list, but the performance is really solid, and I'm happy that Selkirk finally created something that is worth noting and worth talking about, that is this level of performance. So as far as release dates on this one, this is going to be early access for Labs members starts on August 11th, and then the official launch is on August 14th. So you'll be able to snag these on August 14th. And again, if you want to get a kickback code or a gift card, you can use code INF-STS Pickleball and you'll get a gift card back on this. So, okay, so super quick, I just want to say thank you so much for supporting me and supporting my channel. It means the absolute world to me. A free way to support my channel would be to just subscribe. Subscribing to my channel helps my channel out more than anything you could do. Now, I appreciate you a lot. So if you want to just hit that subscribe button, maybe hit the bell notification next to it, and you'll always be updated every time there's a new list like this, or every time there's new information as far as paddles go in the space. And let's get right back into it. Okay, so the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's go ahead and jump into the number 1 paddle currently in 2025. And that's going to be the J2NF series, just the NF series as a whole. They will be releasing a J7, which is going to be elongated, a J3, which will be a sort of a standard sort of wide body shape paddle, And they're even going to be releasing a J6, which is going to be sort of an elongated handle version of this hybrid shape. So stay on the lookout for those shapes, especially if you're looking for a different shape where you would want a longer handle. So as far as pricing goes, the NF series comes in at $195. For the titanium and the carbon fiber versions specifically, you can use code STS10, and that'll save you 10% off on anything non-Kevlar on their website. So that brings it down to $175 essentially. And then on the Kevlar version, you can use code STS Pickleball, which gives you a flat $20 off any of the Kevlar paddles on their website site-wide. But as far as performance metrics go, this is the highest performing paddle in the space right now. It has the most optimized grit levels by far. It's like actual sandpaper. So we'll talk about face materials super quick just for a second. The titanium version is my personal preference after playing with all three, the Kevlar, the carbon fiber, and the titanium, just in countless games over the past 4.5 months. So I like the titanium the best. I like the carbon fiber second best. And then Kevlar is a little bit too rigid off the face for me. I do like a little bit more of the plush nature with these because the power is still there, but I like a little bit more of a plush nature off the face if I'm still getting the same power metrics. So the titanium is my personal top pick, but you could go with any of the three face materials. They're still going to be the number one in the space in comparison to any of the other paddles on this list. So we have optimized grit levels. I mean, the grit levels on these paddles are insane. It's like actual sandpaper. The amount that I can get my ball to dip over the net, even on just a simple drop or a reset or a dink or little flick rolls with the net, is just insane. And I love that. I love spin is like the most fun part of the game for me. I just love it so much. So spin is extremely optimized on these. Power is right up there in top tier power for sure. Pop is super solid. The sweet spot is the largest of any paddle on this list. The sweet spot on this is just ginormous. And that's kind of why control paddles and even all court paddles have been really sort of almost phased out. Like, they're not very popular anymore because the sweet spot and the performance on these power paddles now are so good that you can control them as well, just about as well as a lot of the control paddles we used to have back in the day. And so the performance is just incredible on this paddle. Again, are the graphics great? They're not super great. Like, it's not the prettiest paddle in the world, right? I mean, in comparison to the Selkirk paddle, I mean, come on, it's not up there as far as aesthetic. But performance wise, with this super toothy grit, the top tier power, top tier pop, top tier spin, top tier sweet spot, this has the biggest sweet spot of anything in the space right now. And the amount that you can control this, given how much power and how solid all the other metrics are, is crazy. I mean, if I had to go to a tournament tomorrow, this is what I would be taking with me. No question. Absolutely. This is my paddle for sure. I am really enjoying the BOOMSTIK a lot. I've been playing with the GX2 Power a lot as well. And I am really enjoying those as well. Very, very, very much. But again, I have 4.5 months on this paddle. There's been no break-in. There's been no durability issues. The spin is still really solid on it. And to be honest, again, like if I was going to a tournament tomorrow, this would be the paddle that I would take. It is the best performing paddle in the space right now. So that'll save you a little bit of money there. Again, $175 for the top performing paddle in the space right now is essentially a no-brainer. Again, you get some benefits to the Selkirk, really solid warranty, really solid customer service. And then we'll see how this Infinigrit lasts over time as well, because, they could do well. It could actually elongate the life of this paddle and make digesting $333 a little bit more palatable, but we will see over time. And then again, with the GX2 Power, it's just, the face is very soft. I mean, it's very smooth. There's no real grit to speak of. And so you're missing out on the spin that you could be getting on drops, on dinks, on those little quick flicks at the net. And that's why, the J2NF series just keeps coming to the surface as the best paddle in the space right now, because everything has been optimized so well. Again, aesthetically, it's not the most beautiful paddle in the world, but performance-wise, it's all there. So that is the updated Hypercurrent top 5 paddles currently in 2025. Hope you found this video helpful. I hope that I made your day just a little bit easier in navigating this massive landscape of paddles these days. I know that if I didn't get my hands on all these different paddles, I would be just as confused as you are with all the paddles releasing all the time and trying to navigate what paddle would really optimize my game the best. And that's what I'm here for. I just hope that I can help you out in some way. So consider subscribing if you always want to be in the know every time I drop a new video, so you're always in the know on the most current information in the space, the best paddles in the space, and I hope you have a freaking wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.